Hey, Queen.
Hey.
Hello,
You
beautiful.
Hello, beautiful woman.
Eating, don't mind me.
What is it?
Veggie, good. Veggie chicken nuggets.
Stop! I've gone vegetarian and I'm like looking for things.
It's the Linda McCartney ones. Hold on.
Thank you.
I've heard they're really good. I've actually had veggie chicken nuggets, and I kind of was like, are you sure they're not chicken?
Shut up.
Yeah.
See, oh my God, I need to get some. Thank you.
Southern fried chicken. I haven't gone complete veggie. I'm like, I don't really cook with meat anymore, so I eat a lot of fish. But if I went around my friend's house and they went, oh, here's spaghetti bolognese, I'd eat it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You know what? As long as you're doing your bit, you know what I mean? I think like you can't be too hard on yourself. Even if you're going from having meat every day to having it twice a week.
I love bacon. Bacon on a hangover. So I'm kind of still eating bacon or Parma ham and something like that, like on pizza. But I just won't make something like, I've just gone off chicken so much other than these veggie ones. So
Yeah, they look insane. I need to get some.
Do you know what I would say? I don't think it's bad to eat meat. I just think the way that meat is harvested today is bad to eat meat. But actually, eating meat, it weren't bad. Like so, and it does taste good. I used to be a red meat kind of gal until I went veggie.
You've been veggie long?
I went pescatarian for about 1.5 years, and then I went vegetarian. So it's been about 4 years now. Yes, it's been a while. But I started eating up meat when I was living at my grandparents' house. And I mean, my granddad is the best cook in the world, like all Maltese dishes. And I think it was just a challenge. Like, I love a challenge. And I was like, if I can give up meat living at my nan and granddad's, then I can do anything. And yeah, that was a challenge. But I did it. So I'm like, I just
ran out of things to cook. I just kind of can't think of what to make.
Tell you what is absolutely amazing. Have you ever tried pumpkin katsu curry? It's outstanding. It's out of this.
Okay.
Out of this.
Sorry, I'm being slow. I should put my camera off, but
oh, I love it. You've just created a whole conversation.
Yeah.
How is everyone feeling today? Is everyone feeling good?
Hello, beautiful ladies.
Hey, beautiful queen. How are you?
You talking to me?
Yes.
Hello.
Welcome,
I'm not really with it today. Honestly, I'm really tired.
Do you know what? Funny you say that, because I don't think I slept a week last night. Even though I was physically exhausted, I actually didn't rest.
Yeah.
You sleep well tonight.
Do you know what? I'm sleeping all right. I think just so much is going on in my dreams at the moment, and I think it's physically draining me because I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, that dream was like intense, and it does, doesn't it? And it can emotionally, like physically, drain you as well. I've been working a lot with the dragons and the dragon energy, and yeah, I'm just feeling tired. Just need to recharge.
Oh well, what did dragon energy? What did you tell me? Grounding. Make sure you're doing a lot of grounding. Like tomatoes. Do you know what I've been having? Cinnamon, like just cinnamon sticks and honey.
Oh, nice.
Really good.
Yeah, I love cinnamon.
It smells nice. It tastes nice. It's just
it's your favourite, isn't it?
My favourite. I love it, and it's really good for the root chakra. So it's really good for like grounding into the physical. Into the present. Hey Chanel, how are you, beautiful?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I am amazing. I love your energy. I'm always so excited when you're on. I'm like, yes, yes.
You okay? Had a good week so far?
Do you know what? I've had such a lovely week. It was one of my best friend's birthdays yesterday as well, Faye. And we just had a nice little get together. We've got a goddess equinox celebration this Saturday. So it's like equinox is the start of spring. So a lot of clearing at the moment, a lot of clearing out old energy, and just waiting for all this new spring and blossom to bloom. So
I'm coming as well.
I know, I'm so excited.
Yay! I'm so excited.
We're gonna be in the flesh. Oh
Yeah.
well, what we'll do is we'll start. If anyone else wants to jump on, we will admit them into the Wake Up Wednesdays group. Now, as we always start, I'd just love to say thank you so much for being here with us, and thank you for sharing this space. Wednesday, as we always say, is usually the hump day, but hopefully we can change that for you. And yeah, I'm really, really excited because the topic of conversation today is all about forgiveness. And I have been myself going through a transformation with forgiveness in the Put You First challenge, and it's something that I found really difficult. And now I've actually been able to do it myself. I've been able to help some other women with it. And I really have realized that forgiveness is a gift we give to ourselves. It's nothing about the other person. It's really about us letting go of the pain and the resentment and the anger in our heart. So I think it's a really, really good topic. And it's quite a heavy topic, but in the same sense, it's quite light-hearted, because once you actually give forgiveness, you open yourself up to so much new light. And I think it's just a great topic as well, with spring coming and just flowering and birthing these true versions of us that have been weathered by this winter of the journey we call life. So my name is Charlie Grech. I'm 27 years young. I am based in UK in the Essex. For those of you that do not know me, I am a house DJ, and I am one of the prosperity leaders and companies in the Put You First community. We'll go into the Put You First community a little bit also and how it got started, but I just want to put it over to my co-host. She will be sharing this space with me, the beautiful moon goddess, Natalie Maynard.
Thank you, Charlie. And yes, we always like to start this with gratitude. So thank you so much for taking time out of your Wednesday to come and join us, ladies. This is a really interactive call. So please, if you feel called to say anything during this, please, we welcome your input. But yeah, like Charlie said, this week we're going to be talking a lot about forgiveness. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Natalie. I am 29 years young, and I live about 5 minutes down the road from Charlie, thankfully. But yes, this has been a bit of a week for me, if I'm honest. This week has been a lot different, and I'm so grateful. Last week was a lot. And I felt like I was going through a lot of releasing, a lot of surrendering, and a lot of letting go. And the majority of that process included a lot of forgiveness. And it's exactly what Charlie said. As much as you think that forgiveness may be a gift to others, ultimately it is just a huge gift to yourself. For me, forgiveness hasn't always been easy, and I do feel like Charlie said, it can be a really deep topic, but it's just so beautiful. So I feel like we need to release our fear around forgiveness and maybe just understand a little bit deeper. Hopefully, if you've got maybe fears around forgiveness like I sometimes did, that we might be able to change your perception on this event tonight. So thank you for being with us. Charlie, I'm going to hand it back over to you, my girl.
Oh, well, I can see that we've got some new ladies on the call today, so I just want to say, hey, beautiful women. Claire, I'm not sure if that's our Claire, if that's a new Claire, but I'm just going to say hi. And Diana, hello, thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you. Welcome.
Welcome. So Put You First, we are the leaders of the Put You First community, which was founded on International Women's Day a year ago, and it was a week before the whole world went into lockdown. And honestly, this community has given me strength, it's given me consistency, it's given me support, it's given me so much that I can't even express into words. And I just wanted to touch that last week, the reason why we are going into forgiveness is because myself and Natalie, completed the Put You First challenge for the 3rd time, and it was a challenge and a half. I mean, many of the women that joined for the first time supported us as leaders on this process, because the layering and the depth that we went into ourselves self-reflection is something that isn't new to us, but the depth that we went in last week was very, very profound. And I feel that with the Pisces energy and the watery energy and everything surfacing and everything that we're going through as women, as a collective at the moment, I think it's really important that we do touch on the importance of forgiveness. And really, for me, it was very, very difficult. The first forgiveness letter that I wrote on my Put You First challenge was to my mum. Now, I grew up with a mum who had me very, very young. She had me at 19 years old. She had very low self-worth and she was addicted to drugs. So obviously, them habits were passed on to me, as many of us as women have dealt with this. And I've had to focus on inner child healing for a long time. And it really affected my relationships and it affected the relationship with myself. Now, the second challenge, I wrote a forgiveness letter to little me. And that was one of the most challenging things I've ever done and the most rewarding in the same sense. Now, I sat there for an hour. I liked to cleanse my space, and I'd done this by using sage and Palo Santo and just setting an intention to let go of all that no longer serves. And I wrote a letter to my little self. I had a picture of myself. I've actually got it with me today, and I wanted to share it with you all. Little old me. It don't look like me now, but yeah. And I just really took myself back to that moment. And this picture actually brought a lot of emotion up. And one thing I've learned through this challenge in itself is emotions are, it's what makes us who we are. It's what we've been through. It's the attachments that we have linked to the experiences that we have. However, our emotions and our thoughts and our feelings are not who we are. They are a fabrication of things that we've experienced that have made us the people that we are today, but they're not what our soul is. And I think with forgiveness, that really, really helped me understand the true power of when you forgive someone else, you're actually really forgiving yourself for allowing that person to take away your power. And that was something that hit deep this time, because for the third time, as much as we'd gone through this information and we'd done it before, I understood it a lot more. And I understood that all of these feelings and emotions and the emotions that I attach to the things that happened to me, I was giving that truth and I was giving that fuel to pull me down and pull down the woman that you see in front of you today. And I was beating myself, self-sabotage. And I was doing that to myself. These people who had done these things to me, or these experiences that I had, that wasn't happening to me, but I was suffering in the present moment as if it was happening right now. And that was a very big, tough pill to swallow. But then it also made me realize that if I can make myself feel this low, and I had a lot of shame coming up. This is something that I would really encourage people to look into. If you are experiencing a lot of guilt and shame, please reach out to someone. There are people that can help you with this. And CBT is something that really helped me, cognitive behavioral therapy. Obviously, us as a community, we will support you in any which way that we can, but we are not therapists. We are not trained. We have just healed ourselves with these practices and tools, and we're sharing ways that we've healed ourselves with you. But the one thing I realized this challenge is, as much as someone can help you, as much as someone can hold space for you, ultimately you have to do the work. We can't do it for you. We can believe in you till the cows come home, and we can lead a horse to water, but we can't make it drink. And we always say this. And if you're looking for a quick fix, unfortunately, you're not going to find it here, but you are going to find a community of women that will hold space for you for the rest of our lifetime until you can. So that's something that I feel so blessed and grateful to experience with Put You First. As much as we are the founders of Put You First, this community has helped us so much more as we have helped you. And I think that's why we continue to do these Wake Up Wednesdays, why we continue to share this knowledge and energy, because we're growing as much as this community is. And the more that we share this, the more it grows and the more we grow and expand as a collective. So that's a little bit about me. Obviously, I could probably sit here all day and tell you my life story, but we'll get into that a bit more next Wednesday. But yeah, it was a big growth period for me. And I just want to say a massive shout out to Nicola, Chloe and Shannon, Eilish and Claire when they're watching the replay. You ladies have not been in my life for very long, but the space that you held for me over these last couple of weeks by showing up and getting out of your own way and being your true authentic self, you helped me this week. So thank you. And I just want you all to know how blessed I am to be on this journey with you all. Like, you are all a part of this journey as much as we are. And I just feel blessed to even experience such a sacred space with you all. So yeah, I'm going to pass it on to my soul sister.
Hey, sorry, my granddad's calling me. It's so distracting. I'm so sorry. Give me just 1 second.
I apologise for your priorities. Natalie cares for her granddad full time. So, oh, hey, Lauren. Hey, beautiful. What I'm going to do is, until she comes back, obviously, as we are talking about the Put You First community, our incredible mentor, who was in TV presenting for 10 years, she put together a beautiful movie. So I'm going to share this now, and then we'll pass it back on to our soul sister. Give you a bit of time in case granddad calls. Here we go.
I put me first to put you first.
I put me first to put you first.
So yes, I'm still putting me first to put you first. So I'm learning that I have to put me first to put you first.
Nothing better than seeing all these beautiful faces jumping on.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. Ourselves put you first. That is what our community is. That is what our movement is.
Seeing everyone's growth and witnessing their own aha moments. It's like magic happening right in front of your eyes, and that's very special.
You are here today because this community is meant for you. And all you have to do is just say yes.
I'm just actually flabbergasted of how many women are on here.
And when you have that group support and you are not by yourself, things start changing in your life.
That's what we're creating with this community. We're creating a support system, physically, mentally, financially, to be able to live in a vibration of abundance and embrace our most authentic self and share our happiness together.
It's something incredible, and our health is so important, especially at a time like this.
And I'm learning more about myself every day, learning more about all the women in the community as well, because it is just safe space.
Gift, because this is what it is, ladies. It is a gift that we have got to give to women all over the world, because without this gift I wouldn't be the lady that I am speaking on this call today.
But it's now my time to think about me, and oh God.
Put You First has now not just become this incredible community, but we even have what's called a 7-day challenge that we do together.
Put You First 7-day challenge. Holy Moses.
This challenge made me aware of why I was doing that, or why I needed to do it more. And it also forces you into small, daily, simple habits that can just start you back on the right track. So there's so many things in this challenge that you ladies gonna learn that it's amazing, because it's make you be the woman that you always wanted to be.
Joined a lot of self-care challenges and groups and stuff, and they're a lot of fluff. This is not fluff. This is fluff-free.
Mentorship that I have received, knowing now about the excuses that I use, the way that I self-sabotage myself, the perception that I had on my own reality and the experiences that I was going through, now knowing that has helped me become the person that I am today. And it's all because I said yes.
There are amazing women that I've met, that I laughed with, cried with. Anytime we're on the call, we're just like, I actually want to even cry, because it's done so much for me.
Maybe you are someone that's not putting yourself first. You are someone that needs to surround yourself with more women like this.
I said yes. I said yes to this opportunity because I believe it has the power to change lives.
Because all you have to do, everyone, is just say yes.
I'm sending you all so much love. This is how we show love, because we can't hug. And that is us. That is Put You First. Now I'm going to put it on to my soul sister.
Hello, ladies. Apologies for the last interruption. For those of you that don't know, I do care for my grandfather full time as well. So sometimes that happens. But I'm just so grateful that I get to be here to care for him. And I know that you guys understand. So thank you. But yes, moving back to the topic of forgiveness, this challenge for sure has been the hardest one for me by far. I think I felt a lot of resistance going into this challenge. I was really worried about the introspection that I was definitely going to take. So the last two challenges I took alongside my younger sister. She lived with me, so we took all the webinars together. We was really involved in each other's sort of challenge as well as our own. And this time I was doing it by myself, and so it was a bit like, oh, I've actually got to face my own demons here. And it wasn't going to be a topic of conversation. It was going to be me focusing solely on my own journey. And I knew it was going to be hard because I felt like I may have ignored some of the lessons that I learned in the first couple of challenges. And they was a bit too loud for me to ignore this time. Let's just put it that way. But I always believe that in life we come across these obstacles as opportunities to grow. And when I say obstacles, I was my own obstacle, because realistically, like Charlie said, it's us that hurts in the process of not giving forgiveness to people. And one of the reasons why I held a lot of resentment maybe, and ill feelings, bad vibes around experiences that had happened to me in the past, I found it really difficult because I was so stubborn. And I thought, well, these people don't deserve my forgiveness. I've never got an apology from them. And on a certain level, ladies, a bit of a big bad truth here, but we may not ever receive those apologies from the people that we deserve it the most from. And it is ultimately up to us to be strong enough to say, I don't need your I am sorry, because I forgive you, so that I can forgive myself, and that I can release this hurt, this anger, this pain, this resentment, whatever it is that you're holding on to. You are giving yourself permission to not only allow it to leave your body, but you're also cutting that cord. You're not holding on to that energetic energy that you was creating, that bond with someone else, due to the experience that you had with them in the past. And I feel like that was something that was really difficult for me to face this time. I had a hell of a lot that was rising up inside me, and ultimately now when I look back, it was beautiful, because the person that I am this week compared to the person that I was last week, I was so scared of allowing that pain, that resentment, that sorrow, all of that to rise to the surface, so that I could release it. And I'm actually reading a book that Charlie recommended to me a while ago called The Untethered Soul. And it's crazy because I started reading this, I want to say July, maybe 2019, Charlie. And I read it and I thought it was great. I'm reading it again now. It's like a different book, because I feel like I've done so much work in these last 2 years that now I really understand the lessons that are inside it. And one of the lessons that it mentions in this book is about how when we have these experiences and we store them within ourselves and we keep them trapped and we don't allow them to be released, the fact that when we do allow them to be released, we do have this pain surface, because we trapped that emotion, we trapped that experience with pain inside of us. So of course it's going to hurt, but the hurt is going to be temporary. And last week was a real test, and I'm so glad that I just trusted in the process. I believed in the journey, and ultimately I set the intention and held my vision that I wanted to be free. I was done with holding all of that inside of me, and I deserved freedom, and so do all of you ladies. So I'm going to pass it back to Charlie, because I know that she is honestly the queen of freedom. So I know that she's going to be able to give us so much knowledge on forgiveness and really freeing ourselves from that bonds that ultimately do not belong to us. So Charlie, I'm passing it back to you, my soul sister.
I don't know why, but you've just got me really emotional.
Yeah.
God, I'm shaking a bit. The biggest thing for me, really, in this challenge that hit my soul, deeply hit my soul and my being, was forgiving myself for giving away my power past relationships. I mean, I attracted narcissists after narcissists because obviously I experienced that with my mum. So it was like I was being sent these relationships for me to heal this wound inside of not feeling good enough. And I had to forgive myself for allowing these experiences to keep coming into my life and to keep doing this cycle, this phase, because I hadn't learned the lesson. I hadn't learned the lesson that love comes from within. We literally give meaning to the feelings that we feel on a daily basis by giving the truth and giving it power. And for a long time, I was giving away my power and I wasn't even realizing it. So then when I found that out, my values changed. And the first two challenges, my main core value was freedom. I mean, I've been to the freedom protests as well with everything, and I'm like, freedom, I'm a suffering being. And that's my prerogative. That was my fault. But this time it changed. And my main core value was happiness. And I went through a bit of a war with my internal identified self, ego, as many people call it. I like to say when you edge God out, because we're not anything that we identify with. We are multifaceted beings. We are so much more than any labels that we could give ourselves. We are everything. We are all matter. And happiness, by me forgiving these experiences, by me forgiving myself for giving away my power and sacrificing my values and sacrificing my authentic self. Yes, I had freedom, but I was unhappy. I was alone. I was a misfit. I felt like no one understood me. I felt like I was crazy. I was weird, and people see me as like just that crazy person. Oh, yeah, she's spiritual. She's away with the fairies. And I was painting myself with this brush, this judgment. And the last challenge, as much as it was very challenging, and I learned a lot of new things about who I am now and the woman that you see in front of you today. I want to say one thing: we are allowed to change. We are allowed to shift. We are allowed to change our minds. We're allowed to change our hair color, change our clothes, change our house, change everything, change our boyfriends, everything. You are allowed to change. Don't ever allow somebody to make you feel bad about changing your perception or doing something different that makes you feel better that you didn't used to do, because that is growth. And that is what we should all embrace, because the only thing that is inevitable is constant change. And the more we understand that, the more we can evolve and not attach ourselves to this identity of who we think we are and then beat ourselves up when we are not that perfect version of this blueprint that we have put down to. You have to meet this criteria, otherwise you're not good enough. Because that's one thing that I've just had this eureka moment after you've just said that, then that I was doing that and I was sacrificing my happiness, yes, for freedom. But what was freedom to me? Freedom to me was not being able to be told what to do and just being different. And yes, okay, that is fantastic, but I would rather be happy in this present moment, have quality over quantity, and just enjoy the person that I am and being in my own company. And I'm so blessed and grateful that I've actually done the introspection. And the more I find out who I am and I unidentify with the identity that I attached myself to, I'm realizing that life is actually so simple when we really look at it and we focus on what's important. And what is important is how you feel in this present moment, the people that you have in your life, the health that you've got, And if you've got a roof over your head and you've got something to be grateful for, if that's a friend, if that's food in the fridge, if that's the clothes on your back, if that's the bed that you sleep in, or if it's just you're feeling grateful that you could get your ass out of bed today, then you forgive the victim that you've been being throughout your lifetime, and you allow yourself to express your abundance in this present moment, because we all deserve to be happy. And that's our God-given right. God, universe, source, whatever it is, I truly believe that all of these metaphors, all of these stories, they all say the same message. And that's what we need to remember, that whatever story we tell ourselves of who we are, we're so much more than that. But if we trust and surrender in the flow of life, and we are happy and joyful in this present moment, and we experience that in the now, because the now is all we have is right now, then we are abundant. And I feel like that's what I really realized. And that's why I got quite emotional, because all of these worries and these fears and these doubts that we have, yes, okay, you might be faced with roadblocks, you might be faced with challenges, but there is no mistakes in life, because every mistake that has ever happened has taught you a lesson. It's made you who you are today, and it's made you more grateful for the life that you have right now and the people that you have in your life today. And if you don't feel like that, it's not the end, and we'll review next week, because as they always say in the spiritual, if it feels like the end, it's not. So just remember that. And I think forgiveness for me has really helped me through a lot of dark times. And it's not condoning what's happened to you. Listen, the things that have happened to us, yeah, that's not okay. The way you feel about it is okay, and you deserve to let go of these emotions and not attach yourself to them, because you are not that. And even down to the emotions of good feelings, we hold on to good experiences, and we look back at, remember the good old days, and we're always looking back at wanting things to be as good as, or it's not as bad as. You're invalidating how you feel right now by saying that to yourself. So just be an experience. And when you can experience the small things in the present moment, like when the sun was out the other day, has anyone seen a bumblebee yet? And you're like, yay, spring's coming, the blossoms out, and you can just smell that in the air. That's abundance. Abundance doesn't need to be riches in your bank. Abundance doesn't need to be something big and massive and blatant in your face. Abundance can be as small as catching up with a friend or having a hug from someone and feeling loved and joyful and happiness in this present moment. And that's something that I've really realized this month. And I don't know why I'm getting so emotional, but I really want people to understand that the darkness, it does have an end. And when you see the light, just enjoy that, because bad times are always going to come. Illnesses are inevitable. And one thing we are sure of is we're all going to reach the end of our life one day. But if we enjoy every present moment to the best of our ability, that to me is abundance and happiness. And that's that is my core value. And it might change next month, and that's okay. But I want you to all know that forgiveness is a gift to you. It's not to anyone else. And you will be surprised of the people that will come back into your life and give you the clarity and confirmation once you've actually released that. And one way that we do that is by writing a letter. You can either submerge it into water, you can burn it. I would advise you, don't just do this once, do this every month. Do it on a full moon, do it on a new moon, do it on your birthday, whenever you want to do it, because it is a gift to you. And as much as it might seem very difficult at the time, I can promise you it will be one of the most rewarding things that you can ever give to yourself. So yeah, I hope that's helped. And I want to open up the space to anyone who maybe has experienced the forgiveness themselves on the challenge. I know we've got a lot of ladies on here who did the Put You First challenge with us for the first and second time. What was your experience, and how can you maybe share maybe some insights of how you felt and how freeing it's been for you? Maybe don't all come at once.
I'll share. I'm happy to share, but I haven't actually done the forgiveness.
That's fine.
That's okay.
But, yeah, and I know that is okay. I'll do it when I get to it and I'm ready. I'll do it. But I mean, I've had to forgive quite a few people in my life anyway, so I think I'm quite good at that. Like yourself, Charlie, you know, my mum, I grew up with, my mum's a narcissist. She's got mental health problems. I don't always like to use the word she's a narcissist. She has highly narcissistic traits. And I actually, you know, my heart goes out to her because I would love for her to love herself more and believe in herself more, and of not to have stayed so stuck in her life that she envies my growth. And I always send her healing, and you know, I've practiced forgiveness. Obviously, some things, they have really deeply hurt me in the past, and it did take me a long time to forgive. I mean, incidents that happened in the last lockdown, she's, you know, coming around, banging on my door, screaming and shouting at me from outside. All my neighbours could hear. I had to get the police involved, my children, and it was a lot. It was a lot. She even protested outside my door because my mum is very controlling. If she's not getting her own way, she will do anything to be seen and heard. And me putting my foot down and just saying, I'm not having this anymore, and setting boundaries. Obviously, the pain, the hurt that I felt, I've learnt to forgive her because, like you said, it sets you free. What is the point in me holding on to things that have happened in the past? How am I ever going to grow? How am I ever going to be happy? You know, so obviously, you know that I've been going through a process with my dad. I mentioned that on the self-care Sundays because, you know, a lot started coming up for me with him about negative people and how he has a negative impact on my life. But I think with my dad, I didn't know him till I was 16 years old. He hasn't really been a major part of my life. I know that I can live without him, so to speak. So there's not really much for me to forgive because I sort of knew what he was like when I met him, and I've always had my stepdad there as a role model for me. But yeah, I think I'm going to write a letter to myself as well, because I really have been giving myself a lot of self-love, like my inner child, the child that, you know, went through all the trauma, and I've projected onto my children in the past, and I've held so much guilt, but I didn't know any better. And that is something that I've had to learn, like, and had to say to myself, you know, I could be really, really hard on myself because obviously I am a role model. My children do, you know, they see what goes on around you. And I was so stressed, and I was suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, and I did project a lot. But I used to feel terrible. I used to be like, I don't want to be doing this. Why am I doing this? And I'd really, really beat myself up. But I'd also take responsibility. I'd always apologise to my children if I'd ever felt like I'd upset them. And yeah, I think, yeah, the letter for forgiveness to myself will set me even more free. Even though I've started that process, writing that letter, putting it down on paper and burning it. I really believe in burning. I've got a cauldron that my daughter, my partner bought me for Christmas, a proper really beautiful cauldron. And yeah, I'm excited to do that part. I really am. But it obviously hasn't been the right time yet. I'm being very, very present as well. That's one thing that I've been doing a lot this week. Present with my daughter because she's at home now. She's not part of the system anymore. And yeah, I'm excited to do that part, and I just know what forgiveness does anyway for us as our soul. So yeah, and I'm excited for the next challenge and the one after that, because like you and Natalie, Charlie and Natalie, you've uncovered so many layers, and you know, this is just the start for me. So yeah, thank you for sharing, Charlie, as well. You're such an inspiration, and Natalie, you are as well. Like, you're beautiful goddesses, and I'm so happy I met you. Thank you so much.
I love you so unconditionally, honestly. And I think one thing that you just hit the nail on the head with, and that I used to do myself, sometimes we take too much responsibility for other people, and we do beat ourselves up. And if you take on other people's problems, of course you're not going to have any energy for you to be able to sort out your own problems. You're too busy trying to solve the world's issues. But if everyone just turned that magnet round and looked inside and just healed one thing at a time with us, like, it's it is work. I'm not going to say it's an easy job to do, but it's small things. It's not trying to do it all at once. It's write a forgiveness letter to yourself. As I said, this is something that you should incorporate, maybe do it once a month. If this is forgiveness to someone, yourself, for giving away your power. Also with gratitude, like doing these daily, what it does is it will literally program your subconscious, which is, as Claire, the wise wisdom of this beautiful goddess who has come into our lives. Our subconscious is 90% of who we are. So how are we trying to literally go in? I see us as a house. Imagine going into a house that has been derelict. It's absolutely filthy and dirty. You're not going to go into that house and clean it up so it's brand new to rent out the next day, are you? You're going to have to do it gradually, every day at a time. And if you can go inside yourself and clean one window a day, you will be so surprised of how much growth that you'll have after a year, and how beautiful this house and this foundation will become. And I feel like with me, I like to see things as metaphors because it helps me visualize, it helps me see the job as not as big, because the ego get very dramatic and make a mountain out of a molehill, and I'm a Leo, so I'm very at fault for that. Like blowing things out of proportion. But luckily now I can take a step back, and rather than reacting to the chemicals that are being released in my brain for the stories that I'm telling myself inside my mind, in my subconscious mind, I can sit back, I can breathe, I can write things down, and then I can take action and respond in a way that is best for me. And listen, as I said, we're never going to be perfect. We're still going to make mistakes, but we're going to learn and we're going to grow throughout this process. And if you are doing that, or around the right people, then they're going to be able to hold space and see you for who you really are, and know that when you are reacting, that that's just how you're feeling at that moment. And we will never judge you with that either. I think me and Natalie have always experienced this with many of our friends and family, and sometimes she'll be expressing how she's feeling, or I'll be expressing how I'm feeling to Natalie, and we'll be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry that I'm projecting this onto you. And we're like, no, I'm holding space, and it's okay for you to feel the way that you're feeling, but we're going to process it, we're going to allow you to let it out, and then we're going to create a plan, and then we're going to do something about it. And I'm the best accountability partner. If you bring a problem to me, we're going to sort it out. So make sure that you're ready to do something about it after. Otherwise, yeah, I'm definitely not the right person to come to, because I'm going to make you work. But now I just want to pass it on to you, because I know that you've had so many experiences over the last week as well. And your growth is just, babe, you've held space for me as well, so much. You are a reflection of my divine perfection. Is that it?
That is it. And how beautiful is that saying? Firstly, I just want to thank you, Shannon, for sharing your honesty and your heart. I love you so much. And forgiveness is a lifelong journey. I feel like even for me, I found it really difficult taking part in it this time. But the first time especially was probably one of the hardest. And it's so funny when Charlie says about how once you release that let me just tell you my story instead of trying to work it out in my head, because I get all muddled. But basically, my first experience during the forgiveness webinar, I decided to dedicate that to my ex-boyfriend. Now, I was with him for 10 years of my life. He was very toxic. I was with him from the age of 16. So I went through a lot of trauma in childhood, not a lot of trauma. I went through some trauma in childhood, and I carried that through with me to my teenage years. And my lack of self-worth, my environment at home and things like that, I was searching for something in someone else. And anyway, I ended up with him. He was very mentally abusive, emotionally abusive. And in the end, I genuinely thought that, it's mad when I look back now, but I thought that he was the one I was going to spend the rest of my life with, even though he was so horrific to me. It's crazy when I think about it, because I can laugh about it now, and that's freedom. But I'd done that forgiveness letter, and I was so ready. It had been 3.5 years since we'd broke up. It was a very traumatic breakup. It was something that I was still processing, and that forgiveness letter was, honestly, I'd set the intention that this was it. Like, it was over, it was done, I'm releasing you. And I did. And then a few days later, I get a notification, and he pops up on Instagram that he'd started following me, and I thought, okay, I see you, universe, I see you, I'm not falling for this. And then he popped up again, and it was a message of him actually apologising, and just saying, I'm sorry, it's been a long time coming, I hope you're okay. And instead of me, if he'd have sent me that maybe a year ago, I don't think I would have reacted in the same way. But this time I just sent love back. I just said, thank you for your apology, and I forgive you. And I didn't actually have to verbalise that I'd forgiven him, because I'd already done that for myself and set that intention. But to say that to him when he's apologised, I don't know whether that was what he was looking for, but it also made me feel good in a way to know that I've told him, and that he doesn't have control over me anymore, because I forgive you. Like, I didn't get an apology when I needed it, but I already released all of them bonds, all of those experiences, all of those emotions and feelings, because they didn't belong to me. And like Charlie said, the experiences that I had are completely valid, but the emotions that I feel around those experiences are completely valid, but it wasn't my responsibility to carry them forward in my life, because they was only stifling my growth. And this challenge has been a lot about self-forgiveness for me, and I feel like that's why it has been so difficult. And I am one of the moon goddesses, obviously my Charlie, my co-host, she is my partner in crime, but my fellow moon goddess as well. But we always take part in releasing during a full moon. And for me, that is the ultimate form of forgiveness, because that's also another form of introspection. When I'm looking at myself and I see the traits that I don't want to carry forward, I forgive myself for being aware as well that actually, I don't like this part about myself, and I am willing to forgive it and release it so that I can become a better person. And that can be little things like procrastination, that I forgive myself for procrastinating and I release the need to procrastinate. Like, it's the small wins, and we always say this on these calls, it's really about celebrating the small wins, because even that one sentence is an act of forgiveness. And like Charlie said, if you clean one window, if you release one aspect every day, every month, whenever you feel called to do so, do it, because honestly, it is the ultimate form of freedom. And it is crazy, because when I look at the woman that I was 4 years ago, when I just left that relationship, and I honestly never thought that I was going to be a whole person. And then now I said to Charlie, I spoke to Charlie earlier, and I said, it's funny, like, I know that I've got so many people in my life, but I'm okay as I am. Like, I'm actually okay as I am. And I'm getting emotional, because it's a lot for me to say that. And it's took a lot for me to get here. But without PutUFirst, without this community, without these challenges, without these incredible women, like all of you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Because without you, I wouldn't have been able to do this. And we will continue to grow. We will continue to face this life journey, because I am aware that it is not all going to be smiles. It is going to be about riding the waves and really releasing the things that no longer serve us, so that we can forgive ourselves and others in the process. But like Charlie said, when we see the light, it is so beautiful, and just let it shine on you, ladies. Let it shine down. I'm so grateful to share this space with all of you. Thank you. I love you.
I love you so much. But you know what? One thing that I really want you all to understand that forgiveness gives you. Forgiveness gives you embodiment into the present moment. And the present moment, the now, is all that we have. Everything is existing within this now moment. And forgiveness helps you let go of the past, and it helps you embrace a better future by being happy and present and joyful in this present moment. And there was something that I shared with the community in the 5am club that I wanted to actually read out to you all today. And I'm not sure if you've seen it if you're not in the 5am club, but it really expresses the gift of the present moment. So it says, this day is priceless. All the money in the world will not bring it back again. And so I seize it and savor it and honor it. This day, I fill my mind with big dreams, so there is no space for petty doubts. I replace the psychology of con with the mentality of can. And I remember that my greatest growth lies at the jagged edges of my highest limits. This day I recall that until my mission becomes my obsession, my gifts will never become my glory. And until my hunger to serve transcends the insecurities of myself, I miss the grand, oh, where's it gone? Sorry, ladies. Until my hunger to serve transcends the insecurities of myself, I miss the grand chance of these precious hours to be a vehicle for helpfulness. This day, I reload my devotion to avoid a counterfeit nobility, staying sincere, humble, with both feet on this sacred ground. Should naysayers and bad actors throw rocks at me, I reply to them with kindness and love in the face of their bad behaviour, even if they don't deserve it. Should critics make fun of me, as they always have since I was a kid, I take the rocks they throw at me and I make them into monuments of mastery. And should anyone call me strange, as they often do, I'll smile with the blatant wisdom stuck deep in my heart that it's only misfits, oddballs, and eccentrics that change our world. Being different is really cool, and eccentricity is very hip. And that just really hit heart with me. And I just felt like I wanted to just share that all with you. So every time you feel like you're going mad, as us women are always called for being emotional, which is a natural experience of life, that's you being yourself and expressing yourself in that present moment. And if you need to scream and shout or cry or laugh or jump up and down, be who you are, be passionate about who you are, and let go of the fear of worrying about what's happened to you that's going to happen again, because that is stopping you, that is stifling your existence in this present moment. And you're only projecting what's happened to happen in this present moment by you actually focusing on that. And it's so much easier said than done. I will tell you that it is, but the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And I promise you, if I can do it, anyone can. But I just want to open up this space. We've got 10 minutes till the end of the Wake Up Wednesdays, and I just wanted to, has anyone got any aha moments or anything that they wanted to discuss? Hey, Chloe girl, did I see you put your hand
up? No, I'm like, yeah, no, yeah, I do. It's not any aha moment. It's more just, God, I needed that today. Like, I'm just really emotional this week. I think I'm just during my periods. I'm thinking it's that, but I'm always hard on myself. And, you know, I've got no reason to be emotional. And then I kick myself because I'm like, come on, why are you being emotional? So I didn't do my board today or yesterday. I haven't really slept. So I think I just need to just forgive myself for being hard on myself, for feeling emotional, and just let myself. So it's not anything tragic at the moment. I just need to forgive myself for feeling like this, and it's perfectly acceptable. So it's only small, but I need to do it, you know, and I need to not just be annoyed that I'm emotional, because I think I was on such a high last week, like that challenge. Sunday, Monday, when I spoke to you all, well, Saturday, I was on a massive high. And I think I knew it was going to happen, you know, and I think where I haven't had it daily, I think last week having Heidi daily, it was just like, you know, keeping me going, egging me on. And I think, yeah, I've had a bit of a dip, but it's fine. We keep going.
Yeah.
So thank you, ladies.
Oh, thank you, Chloe.
Thank you.
Because that is a win. That is a win. Because many people, what they'll do is they'll allow a bad day to turn into a bad week, a bad month, a bad year, a bad life. Mm-hmm. And if you can catch yourself an hour in, a day in, 3 days in, that is a win. And I would encourage everyone, start your Shiro journey.
Yes, I do need to. I've got that plan for this weekend. I've got it ready.
You've given yourself forgiveness for feeling your emotions because you're due on your period.
You're giving yourself permission to just feel as a divine feminine being.
I know,
So,
we need to embrace it, right? We need to embrace our female bodies and what we stand for in every part of it.
Yes.
So I'm going to have a bath and eat a chocolate bar in it.
Yes.
Self-love, ladies, for sure. Implement that for sure. Whatever makes you feel good. And thank you for sharing your heart and being so honest, because I am just like you, Chloe. I feel like once I have the highs, I'm like expecting the lows, and then when they do come, I'm like, why am I feeling so low? I was so happy last week, and we can sort of let ourselves spiral. But like
self-sabotage,
said,
right?
that awareness is key, and that's amazing that you've caught yourself, you're aware of what you're doing, and tomorrow's a new day. Allow yourself to feel how you feel this evening, and then tomorrow wake up with new intentions. And you know, like we say, it really is about being kind to yourself. So tomorrow, if you don't get everything done that you want to, it's okay. You've got another 24 hours coming up. And honestly, please reach out to any of us. Like, this is what we're here for. Like we said, we're not just here for the week that you do the challenge. We are here for life. You're not getting rid of us. Like, seriously, lean on us, please. Me and Charlie have been in the Put You First community since March of last year when it was created, but we have been taking these challenges since January. We're still learning, we're still evolving, and we will be here to assist you in any way that we can. So if you're struggling, if you just feel like you need a hit of good energy or positivity, please reach out to one of us, because we will be more than happy to assist in that area. I mean, I know I will, and I'm sure Charlie will too.
On the other hand, but thank you.
Oh, I love you. And ladies, we do have some workshops coming up as well. What's so important, the next workshop is resilience. So that's our March 28th workshop, and it's all about really just picking yourself back up when you feel low, when you feel down, and not actually beating yourself up and self-sabotaging, and how resilience actually affects your immune system. Resilience is one of my favorite workshops, and I think I may be leading that one as well. So I'd love it if you would all join. And then we have on the April 11th, we've got our Spring into Self-Love. And then on April the 25th, we've got Ditch the Excuses. We also have our Self-Care Sunday, every Sunday at 2 p.m. However, this Sunday it's at 1 p.m. because the clocks went back. And then the following Sunday, it will go back to normal. And then we have the Put You First Challenge starting again on April 4th. Now, ladies, we do have limited spaces available. So make sure that you get in touch with the person who brought you onto this call. And we would love to experience this journey with you. If you are looking to dip your toes in the pool first before you go on the challenge, then one of the workshops will definitely be something for you. And we do have discounts as well. When you get when you get 3, you get 1 for free. That's the one. Yeah, so if you want to join us again, we're here with you live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. for Wake Up Wednesdays. And thank you so much for being here. We love you all so unconditionally. And it's just so good to see this community growing with so many inspirational women. I mean, some of the women that joined us 3 weeks ago, and the lights that you've been in our life in under a month, and the transformations that we've seen. That's why we're doing what we're doing, because it's working. So thank you for showing us that what we do, it means a lot. It really, really means a lot that you're all here with us today. So I love you, my soul sisters.
We love you.
And we'll see you again soon.
Love you.
Keep growing and keep
glowing.
Bye.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.